Since its release back in November of 2020, the PlayStation 5 has recently reached 50 million units sold, with 10 million of them being sold over the last 5 months.
Wow.
While it does miss out on breaking the record of the PS4 in that time range, with the increase in supplies over the recent months, it has definitely made it an achievable mark for Sony to reach its goal of 25 million units sold by March over the fiscal year. So obviously that's a very popular console, and I'm looking forward to kind of seeing maybe what the iterations are going to be for the Pro and the Slim. So
Yeah, that's a big milestone for sure, and especially 10 million in the last 5 months. That's ridiculous.
It probably would have even been more if it wasn't for the pandemic. I mean, the whole entire chip shortage, that
true.
really hurt them. So.
Oh, yeah.
It probably would have broken the PS4.
If that had happened. Yeah. Well, a bit of another quick topic here. A few weeks ago, we mentioned the rid of headlines on X posts. Well, now they are back, however much smaller.
Of course.
On January 4th, X made these changes, and later in the day, they got rid of it after possible negative feedback. Then they returned it later that afternoon. So, as per usual, chaos ensues over at XHQ.
It's a very bipolar social.
No, it can't make its own decision. I feel like maybe it's at this point, it's kind of almost sentient. Oh, man. It's crazy.
That is pretty crazy. I actually haven't seen that as far as what it looks like. So
I did see it. There was an image.
Is it appealing at all, or does it make much of a difference?
It's actually not that bad.
Okay.
It's small. I mean, you definitely wish you could have the bigger headline back. But this is a compromise that I am okay with and I can tolerate.
We'll throw it up on the screen in case you guys are interested.
Yeah, it's right there. Yep.
Feel like it's worth it to change it back. I have no idea. I'm kind of done with the changes that Twitter's making. So for X, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Gen A's will always be like, X, I know what that is. We'll always be like, Twitter. Oh, what's Twitter?
Yeah.
In either case, for those that knew of its existence, Xbox has a Series X replica in the form of a legitimate toaster. The toaster was originally available over in France on Walmart, but has since then found its way to the States. It runs $40, and if the exterior isn't enough for you to indulge in the replica, the unit will actually toast in the Xbox logo onto your bread. So pretty interesting little fun fact there, but yeah,
that's pretty nifty, I gotta say. I mean, it's not like, I'm really not gonna spend money on it, but
if you needed a toaster and you're a gamer,
if you needed one, it's like if you're a YouTuber and you do video game recordings and Let's Plays and whatever, and you just want like a piece of toast if you're live streaming on Twitch or something, it's perfect. Just grab a piece of toast and show your supporters or whatever.
Yeah,
and like
it's got to have butter though, because if you put jam on it, it's gonna cover it up. So
exactly, yeah, you gotta.
I just ruined my toast. Yeah. But in either case,
Apple has announced that they will be opening an Apple store in the belly of the beast. That's right, Seoul, South Korea, the origin of Samsung. This store will be located at 140 Yanghwa-ro near Honggi University. To celebrate this occasion, Apple has released some interesting graffiti-style wallpapers that you can download for free. We can show you the images right here. They're pretty cool. They have sort of the essence of like those Korean characters or whatnot. So, yeah, pretty interesting. Putting the store in there.
This has absolutely nothing to do with Korea or Koreans or anything like that. It was just something that came straight to my mind. But when you said Belly of the Beast, for some reason, Pacific Rim came to my mind. Which is funny because I haven't watched that movie in like a year or so. And I was just thinking of, the major... Yeah, it's just... But in either case, Seoul, Korea, that's... Is that their first one? Or...
In South Korea, I'm not sure actually.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
They probably have another one there, but it's interesting that it's here. But
they keep on putting more in there, I guess. I don't know.
I guess so.
Hey, the iPhones are certainly popular in other parts of the world, not just America. So,
Yeah, you even have some employees named Samsung work at Apple. So it just goes to show you. Never mind.
they do? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you were actually being
There
serious or
was
not.
There was literally, and I don't know if it was real or not, but there was this image of one of the assistant or some guy that worked at Apple. His name is literally Sam Sung.
Nice. I'm betting he probably would have gotten a better pay rate at Samsung.
Probably, yes.
Not much of a major piece of news, but the ChatGPT-based application from Microsoft, dubbed CoPilot, is now available on iOS. Not sure if you've used it, Riley, but
No.
for those that prefer Microsoft's layer, it's there for you on Apple's platform. It's also worth mentioning that Microsoft will be adding a dedicated key, to upcoming PC keyboards, specifically assigned to CoPilot. Evidently, Microsoft hasn't added a new key to their layout in over 30 years, or just about 30 years. So this is quite the jump.
Yeah.
I'm not
I guess
looking forward to it at all. I mean, it's a key, but there you go.
Yeah, no, that's actually kind of interesting. No, I've never actually used Copilot. I've only used ChatGPT, to be perfectly honest with you. But hey, another option for AI on your phone, so that's cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Either way, on to deals. The MacBook M1, the M1 MacBook Air is $250 off, down to $750. So it's a decent deal. I think that's over at Best Buy. So
Nice. On Amazon, you can get the Pixel 8 Pro, and I think this is specific to a color. It's the Bay color, 120 gigabyte, from down from 199. No,
$199.
No, that's the Fold. Excuse me. Down from $999 to $799. So you're getting a 20% off deal, $200 off for this almost new phone, which is pretty solid actually. So.
Yeah, that's something I would feel like jumping on if I didn't have 2 or 3 other phones.
Don't brag.
Either way,
it's not becoming.
in other case, actually sticking with Google, it looks as though some of the latest betas from them will be offering users the feature of battery health in Android to better help them understand when a battery replacement is needed. This lends well to consumers who want to take advantage of those 7 years of OS updates, allowing them to extend the usability and reliability of the device as time goes on. So not exactly a surprise, considering Apple has had it in their system for a while, as well as other companies like OnePlus have followed suit. But yeah, it's nice to finally see that coming natively to Android.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense, because I think the main question we had when we were talking about those 7 years of updates was, how are you going to implement a way for those 7 years to have long-lasting battery life?
Yeah.
And that's great. And then the whole thing about, and we'll get to this in a moment, but the whole Pixel repair system, that's also an aid to kind of help you keep your phone for that amount of time if you need to replace any parts. So I think the moves that Google is pulling right now are actually really good and beneficial. If they're really gonna, stick up the 7 years, I think they've got to make a way for people to stay on that for a while.
Yeah, which is interesting, because we'll actually see how that culminates when it comes to consumers, when a company offers you the ability to keep your phone and keep on using it and not seeing so much degradation from it over the years. Exactly. And actually seeing if consumers want to stick with that versus upgrading every year or every other year. So I'm looking forward to see how the statistics will go on that.
Good way of looking at it. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Meta has gotten rid of their ChromeCast feature for MetaQuest. Initially, how this would have worked is that you would essentially cast what you were seeing from your headset onto a smart TV. Now Meta has stated that to cast, you just need to use the MetaQuest app on your phone and cast it from there. Now, I have actually done this when my best friend and I had played with the MetaQuest 2. He would use his phone and the app on it, and we would just use AirPlay to cast onto a smart TV. So I have no personal experience with Chromecasting from the headset directly, However, this article from which I read this suggested that it crashed randomly. So there is a plus side to utilizing Samsung, Apple, or other such forms of casting. So I think at this point, Chromecast was kind of a dud at certain aspects, and it's just better to actually use these other forms. So.
Okay, yeah, I think I do remember reading that now. Actually, I remember somebody was commenting on how it was either because of the crashes, which you mentioned, or it's just because Google requested that it be removed. I don't know. But in either case, it's kind of unfortunate, but it didn't sound like it was that much of a...
It wasn't a major detriment.
Advantageous feature. Yeah. So, but at least it's there, and at least people can look forward not to having to worry about crash anymore.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
It's omitted. In either case, the CEOs of Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery held a meeting on December 19th to discuss the possible move to merge the two companies in some way. At the moment, there hasn't seemed to be any pricing for the merger or restructuring leaks noted, but the effort looks to certainly be driven by providing a more stronger competition against the other streaming giants like Netflix and Disney. Both Warner Brothers and Paramount agree that what they have to offer separately complements both their services if they were to merge. And I'll just say this, that even though this move does kind of shrink the playing field when it comes to competitors, I do feel that these two companies did need to make some, well, if you want to call it aggressive moves, to stay prevalent against those other streamers. The only question that I would toss out into the void is what would be the pricing for consumers post-merge. So
there's the rub.
I'm looking forward. Yeah, there's the rub.
Yeah, that's. I think I did kind of see that article. I didn't read it fully, but yeah, that's actually really interesting that they're going to be doing this. Any news of when that will be taking place, or did you already mention that? Or
no, that wasn't mentioned either from what I saw. So I'm not sure if that's going to be like a 2024 thing or 2025. It'll be hard to say, especially with merging and acquisitions. We've seen that happen multiple times between Adobe, Microsoft, Apple. I mean, there's just so many. Meta. Yeah, it's hard to see how long that'll take and what that timeline looks like. So
a lot of lawyers and time needs to take place.
Exactly. But I mean, in either case, we will definitely update you guys on that when things unfold with those two companies. So
on the last episode, we mentioned Pixel's new repair system, and I kind of touched on it just a bit earlier, and how they're implementing that. If you didn't see that episode, you can check it out right up here. But something we did take into account, or at least I didn't, is that if Pixel were to release these parts needed for replacement, they would, in turn, show the price for them. Some notable price hikes are the lenses on the 7 and the 8 series. On the base models, the original ultra-wide lens costs $90, and the 8 costs $143, making that a $53 increase. And with the Pro models, the 7 Pro comes in at $153, and on the 8 Pro it comes in at $200, making it a $48 price increase. Now, it is important to note that these prices don't actually reflect the entire rear camera system. They combined it all for the Pro models specifically, so you get the whole deal there. Now, obviously, these prices don't truly reflect the actual price of the parts separately at all. Mainly because the MSRP of the 8 Pro comes to $700, and the total price for all these parts for the 7 Pro, or most of them, comes to $650. I highly doubt Pixel's making $50 profit off of these phones. But it's still interesting to see the sheer difference in these devices and the components that they hold. So,
is that internal pricing or is that consumer pricing? Because I imagine they're probably trying to make a little bit of profit off those parts.
Yeah, it's consumer, or it's probably consumer pricing. But even still, at that, probably a lot of and that's even more so why these aren't the full exact prices, because they are sold secondhand, or from a third party, if you will. So,
right, because that's through iFixit. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, gotcha.
I think so. But yeah, I know what you make of this. It's just kind of interesting to see all those different parts and, what their not their actual, but close to what their prices would be, and how much Pixel has been really investing in making their products a lot more better in performance and look. So
Yeah, I mean, there's really not too much to say just because we have seen prices on parts before, but
yeah,
I mean, as far as increasing it, and the other thing to think about is also looking at the jump. Was that with brand new MSRP on the 7 Pro, or is that what the current 7 Pro is at?
that
would be my
was
question.
When it was released.
When it was released. Okay, so that's actually jumping to. Okay, gotcha. Because that was my other question, because if it was a jump, then obviously the older models would have lower prices as far as parts,
Yeah.
just in general. But yeah, I'm just glad they're starting to initiate a lot of that. I mean, we've seen this happen in the past, just being able to repair things on your own and all the kits that come into place.
Yep.
And I'm sure some of that probably includes, is that including tools too, or is that not really needed?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
I don't think I saw anything related to that. They probably do come with tools because you're gonna need some to
I
actually
mean, I
repair
assume
the
there's
parts,
something
but
there, yeah, because you have to have adhesive around it to reseal
Exactly.
everything. So,
yeah.
but yeah, actually, speaking of acquisitions, as I was mentioning, Apple is once again highlighted in the rumor mill to acquire a major fitness company. Peloton was blazing hot during the pandemic and saw revenues skyrocket as limited outdoor activities, gym access, as well as the drive to stay healthy put the company at a major advantage. Since then, however, most things are returning back to normal, except for 24-hour Walmarts. But
Yeah.
the
I know,
company
right?
has seen a decline since then, and it doesn't look to be turning a page anytime soon. Their 3 million user subscription service could be a key thing in Apple's eyes, though, as they could plug those users directly into their fitness service that they already have going, all while implementing Peloton's hardware and video database. So, no confirmation of talks at all have been cited yet, but the rumor is that 2024 could be the year this finally happens, as this acquisition has been assumed in past years.
One man's junk is another man's treasure. That's probably a good move by Apple. I don't really see anything wrong with that acquisition. I mean, it's not like they're really trying to expand their networking in any way. They're not trying to make their company bigger. They're just trying to make a little more cash on this kind of thing. And the way they're doing it is also good because plugging that straight into their own ecosystem wouldn't be too difficult to do, and the users themselves wouldn't have an issue because they're still getting their data they need from all the fitness stuff. So yeah, and it would also be good too because that might be a great way to have people come on your platform, kind of transition into it a little bit easier and get more profit off of that too. So I'd say, in my personal opinion, this is actually a fairly good move by Apple.
Yeah, this is actually one of those acquisitions that I'm not against. It's like one of those things where, what was it? Facebook was acquiring Instagram, I believe it was. That one I wasn't a fan of. Microsoft and Activision I wasn't a fan of. This one I'm not really.
Yeah.
This one I don't have a beef with, just because I feel like what you were saying. Yeah, it makes sense. It kind of would work cohesively. So, but yeah, again, we'll keep you guys updated on that if it does come to fruition. But in either case, that will do it for this week's episode. This is JD and Riley, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace out.